Hi, Bill Yannick here, your Connect CEO with today's episode of the Daily Grind. It's our transition from what we used to call the weekly grind when we had a show about Connect's 2020 with events overtaking all of our lives, certainly with COVID-19. We've gone to a daily format, and every day we try to get an industry leader, someone in the FM community who can talk to us about these issues, and we have a great one today. We have Mike Kurland here from Branded Group, and I'll introduce him in a second, but he's going to talk to us not only about what his company is doing vis-a-vis COVID-19 and certainly how he's taking care of his folks, but also a little bit more too about how he's handling this. And if you see Mike's content out on LinkedIn and out there, he actually speaks a lot on leadership and small business topics like that too. So hopefully we have a chance to get into it. So Mike, welcome to the Daily Grind. Why don't you give our audience just a quick chance, if they don't know you, a little bit about you and your company.
Thanks, Bill. Really excited to be here. Appreciate you having me on. Branded Group is a nationwide facilities and construction management company. We focus on multi-site tenants.
Awesome. And so we're all dealing with this, everyone who has employees and all companies. But in particular, I'm sure Branded Group is doing some interesting things on how are you dealing with this with your team and keeping them engaged and going to this complete remote work from home workforce. What are some of the things that you all are doing?
Well, Bill, our employees are our number one priority. Unfortunately, with the pandemic, we had to furlough over 50% of our workforce, as I'm sure many other companies like us out there have experienced. The work has just shriveled up. So in doing so, we chose to furlough instead of lay them off because it allows us to still maintain their health benefits for them. We wanted to make sure that they were and their families were all covered, and they're still able to accrue vacation time. And when this pandemic passes and comes back, we'll be able to turn them back on really quickly and have them ready to go so that they can start working right again. We're really focusing on communication right now to our employees. It's the biggest thing to make sure that they know what is going on and that they're in touch with me and Branded Group so they feel a part of the family, not disconnected. And we're really encouraging our employees to be vulnerable. It's not normal for employers and employees to have vulnerable conversations, but this is a scary time for a lot of people out there that are not sure what's happening. So we've been having the vulnerable conversations with our employees. And if you guys don't know much about being vulnerable with your employees, I highly recommend the Brene Brown TED Talk, Being Vulnerable. It's one of the top 10 TED Talks of all time, and it's a great resource for you out there.
Great. Yeah, and one quick note before you go on too, at connectsfm.com, Connects has all our coronavirus or COVID-19 resources, and we're going to put a link to that TED Talk that Mike just talked about as well, so you can check that out. Great. Thanks, Mike. Continue on.
Sure. We've also given a list of resources to our employees for things like rent and mortgage deferrals and credit card deferrals. So that is also available on our website, and I'm sure you'll have a link that passes through to that afterwards. We're doing daily and weekly emails to our employees to make sure that they're able to know what's going on with the company, whether they're furloughed or not. And we started a thing called Thankful Thursdays. We want everyone to stay positive during this time so that they can, not get crazy. And we've started them sending pictures of what's going on in their lives, what their new habits that they've picked up during this time. It's actually led to about 3 of our employees adopting dogs because they saw all the other puppies out there. And so I guess we're helping with the pets right now too during the pandemic.
Awesome. The other thing, today is Thankful Thursday we're talking to you about. So that's a great idea. And all you're talking about to keep people connected. And even to circle back, what you mentioned a few minutes ago on the vulnerability and communication. And it's tough as a leader, I'm sure you see, because you have to portray optimism and strength and that we're going to get through this. But at the same time, anyone right now who's painting a rosy picture about the economy in general or what's going on with this virus, you just come off as a phony. That's the worst thing to come off during something like this, don't you think?
Totally agree. I feel you got to be authentic. And
Yeah.
if you try and just tell everybody that it's going to be okay, you don't know if it's going to be okay. We hope that it's going to be okay, but I can't predict the future and nobody else can. So being vulnerable right now, being authentic, I think that's how I've always carried myself. And I'm going to continue to do that with my employees currently. So
Awesome. Now we've talked about this with a number of guests, but I would love to get your perspective. So getting down to the nuts and bolts of what you're doing with your clients now and even dealing with dark stores or moving forward, hopefully as we come out of this, what are some of the things that Branded Group is doing and work with their clients on attacking this virus?
we had to pivot our business. There's not the normal day-to-day break fix going on out there with all the stores being closed. So there's a lot of COVID cleanings. We've become masters of COVID cleaning, getting in there and just doing the really deep wipe downs for some of our clients that are still open. And then for the ones that closed, it was just a lot of board ups, just getting in there and making sure those stores are closed up and, there's no ability for windows to get broken, stores to get broken into.
Yeah, interesting times. Who would have thunk we'd be talking about boarding up stores about a month ago? But
right.
Wow. So as we're finishing up our few-minute conversation here, Mike, and we'd love to have you back again in this 5-minute format. We can't get too deep into anything, but hopefully you already had the one big takeaway on the TED Talk that we'll have at connectsfm.com. But do you have any other big takeaways from dealing with this, whether it's even just crisis management in general that our audience could take from this?
Absolutely. I think, this is a great learning experience for everybody. Make sure your business continuity programs are in place. Really have a task force put together of your team that can kind of put those things together so that when you do have another crisis come down the road, you're prepared, better prepared. And have a rainy day fund. 6 to 8 weeks of payroll on hand is really key so that you can get through something like this.
Yep, and it is raining. That's why you get rainy. And it is pouring. I guess it's pouring literally where Mike is. And us in the Midwest here, we're about to get some more rain, I'm sure, because it seems to rain every other day now that we're all cooped up. But Mike, this has been a great quick visit. Really appreciate you joining us today. And thanks for being part of the Daily Grind. And for those out there watching, every day, 1 Central, same link, same time, we're here for you. And do please go to connectsfm.com. Right on the front of our homepage, you can see those coronavirus resources, what Mike talked about. And you can also find all the episodes of the Daily Grind there. So until tomorrow at 1 Central, have a great day.